I have been fascinated with the concept of resilience ever since I started studying psychology and just looking at when I traveled as well. I realized some people are extremely grateful for what they have, and they've been through so much, they still have a smile on their face. And like when I was in Zimbabwe, these people fight all day for their earnings and they're so resilient. I don't know their backstories, but it's like, okay, when I come back to England, it's like everybody has everything the people in Zimbabwe want, but nobody here is as resilient as it seems to the people back in Zimbabwe and in other third world countries. For example, my country, Eritrea. One thing I realized from doing research on resilience is everybody experiences trauma, okay? How we deal with trauma really depends on one specific thing that I have experienced both ends. I've experienced having that one thing and going through trauma, and I've had experience with having that trauma but without that one thing. So I think I've got enough results to actually rely this information onto you. What it takes is one teacher, one grandma, one auntie, one mother, one father, just somebody that can show you a bit of affection when you're going through trauma. That's all you need to be resilient. I want anybody that disagrees with that to actually come and tell me they disagree with that, because I'm genuinely curious. Because that seems to have worked in every case that I've looked at, especially within my own life. I've experienced a lot of things growing up, but I've always had my auntie. Even though my auntie ended up leaving eventually, but because she was around me from a very crucial age, around 5 to 7, I felt like I could face the world because I've seen unconditional love, I've seen gentleness, I've seen empathy, and I've seen sympathy for what I have to experience. And because I experienced that at a young age, I was able to carry it on even when she wasn't around after I left her at the age of 8. And I've experienced a traumatic event later down the line where she unfortunately wasn't on my side in the situation, and I was not able to be resilient at the end. I actually ended up having PTSD and I was completely traumatized, and it was ridiculously terrible. I couldn't do anything. And I was like, wow, I've been through so much, but as soon as this thing happens, it's over for me. I've got all sorts of mental health problems. I can't do the things that I used to do. I can't go to the gym. I can't do my uni work. I can't do anything. But I was able to go literally immigrate from country to country alone at some point, and I was fine then, but not now. The one difference was I had my auntie back then, or I had her love before the whole journey, and I had no love in the second trauma. And I've done research, like I said, it just takes one individual person. So when we look at people, this isn't something that you need to apply. This is just knowledge that I feel like is important for everybody to know for when they come across people who don't seem as resilient, or for yourself, for example. I doubt people who are watching this video have been not resilient, but however, there was a time where I wasn't resilient too. So if you're going through a really traumatic time right now, or a dark night of the soul, or anything that makes you feel like, damn, I'm really crumbling, maybe look around your circle and can you identify somebody that makes you feel like it's worth fighting for? Because that's the meaning of life, right? When we go through a traumatic event and we feel like there isn't any social connection for us, our resilience goes out the door, and then what we have is a lack of meaning for life. And that's what I experienced. Is I guess I was living for my auntie at some points. I guess I was living for somebody that I love and care for. But when those people are gone, what's the point? So honestly, this one was just a short one. I just wanted to kind of just straighten it out for people who might feel like, wow, the world is so much better with blue glasses on. I wanted to get that straight because if you feel like you're crumbling right now, you might just need to hone in on just one person and ask for their support, ask for their love, and ask for their guidance. And if you are extremely resilient, then you can probably identify one person that you're not living for, we live for ourselves, but one person that helps you live your life to the most meaningful way possible. We should give sympathy to people that don't have the resilience, because that just shows that they didn't have a single person during those crucial 0 to 7 years of their lives in the early childhoods. And that's all it means. So when people are addicts, or they can't seem to get their life together, just notice that it's because they don't actually have that one single person. It's out of choice, of course, but guess what? I had choice in both positions of trauma. The only thing that was missing was, at one point I had somebody that loved me, my auntie, and then at one point I didn't have that anyone. And I had choice in both positions. Yes, I chose to heal in the second position, but it was hard. And not a lot of people make it out. So take that on for yourself, for others, or people around you, people that you care about. ETC, I love you guys, and I will catch you next week.